President Biden chided Republicans for opposing his student loan bailout.
And despite what the Republican officials say, we're able to afford the student loan relief. It's because of our historic deficit reduction the Republicans voted against.
Now, question is, does the president have the authority to unilaterally give away billions of taxpayer dollars? Right before an election, I might add. Joining me now to discuss this and more is Congressman Kevin Brady. He's the ranking member on the House Ways and Means Committee, and he represents the 8th Congressional District of Texas. Congressman Brady, thanks so much for joining us. I know you're on the road out there, and I'm glad you're able to join us today.
Tony, thanks for having me. I'm in East Texas, and an area that you know well, and thanks for having me on.
Well, the president here is saying, Republicans trying to, keep him from moving forward on this student loan bailout. I mean, first off, does the president have the authority to give away literally billions of dollars of taxpayer money?
Yeah, and the truthful answer is, of course not. Nowhere did Congress grant any president the ability to forgive $500 billion of student loans with the stroke of a pen. He's trying to say that the law we passed after 9/11, we were giving some temporary relief to those who are going to war on the war of terrorism. He is trying to say this is the same type of national emergency. Of course, it's not. It will be litigated. I feel confident that we'll prevail there. But that claim he makes that we can afford to do this because of his deficit reduction, even the Washington Post has fact-checked that as just simply untrue. That's not the case at all. There will be very little inflation or debt reduction from the Inflation Reduction Act, and this could cost between $400 and $600 billion when it's said and done. And no president can use taxpayers as just a campaign slush fund. That nowhere in law or the Constitution does that exist.
Well, this to me looks like a bribe. I mean, the timing of this right before a midterm election when the president is about to lose control of Congress, it looks like a bribe. And from my perspective, I think this is criminal and it should be illegal.
I believe it is illegal. What I do know, too, is I don't think it's politically as smart as they believe it is. One, it is inflationary. Two, won't do anything to get college costs down. But three, and most importantly, this is just a gut kick to blue-collar workers and families who took out debt and paid it back responsibly. And I think of my neighbor who's a detective. He worked for 15 years, 3 jobs. A detective, he did extra security, and he sold carpet on the weekends. And his wife had a job as well, just so their daughter could go to a state college and graduate with a good degree in zero debt, which she did. She's now a teacher. But think about 15 years of sacrifice to make their child sure they didn't have student debt. And now, this president's going to force them to pay other student debt off. It's terribly unfair. And I think the president is not going to get the political gain he believes he will.
And I think it's going to make the cost of higher education even more expensive as we see this bailout going forward. Yesterday, the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, essentially blamed Republicans for the economic pain that Americans are feeling. I want to play this clip and get your response to it. Clip 11, please.
And what Republicans want to do is that they want to repeal that very historic piece of legislation that is also going to lower energy costs, that is also going to help fight climate change. They want to get rid of it. So there is a contrast that we are going to make, which is how Republicans are actually going to make things worse, and Democrats want to do the opposite and make things a little easier.
Now, this is about the Inflation Reduction Act, but from her comments, I'm a little puzzled. I had no idea Republicans have been in charge for the last 2 years.
No, you would have thought Democrats were in control of the House, Senate, and the White House. Well, look, this is the same White House, Tony, that blames Republicans for inflation, for high energy prices, for crime. Again, They've been fact-checked repeatedly as just flat-out false there. But the truth of the matter is, we do want to repeal the Inflation Reduction Act because it has tax hikes on American companies that manufacture here and small businesses. It has huge $500 billion of Green New Deal giveaways to some of the wealthiest companies in America. And thirdly, its drug pricing scheme actually drives prices up and kills new cures for cancers, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, those life, saving drugs that Americans are praying and hoping for. Their bill will actually prevent those drugs from coming to market. So, yeah, it is. I think that's more spin from the White House press corps. It just has no basis in fact.
So just another Democratic bad bill that needs to be repealed. There's quite a few of those.
No question.
Congressman Kevin
sir.
Brady, always great to talk with you. Thanks so much for taking time to join us from East Texas.
Thanks, Tony. Take care.
All right. Congressman Kevin Brady of Texas.